There is speculation that Russian President Vladimir Putin may be the richest man in the world, with a net worth of over $200 billion. This is based on a number of factors, including his control over Russia's vast natural resources, his ownership of luxury properties around the world, and his close ties to Russian oligarchs. However, Putin has never publicly disclosed his wealth, and it is difficult to say for certain how much money he actually has. So in this video, we are going to discuss, is Putin secretly the richest man in the world? The video is going to be amazing. Make sure to stick till the end. Now before we get into this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment below saying I subscribed. I will try my best to reply to as many comments as possible. Russian President Vladimir Putin made the equivalent of £107,000 in 2021, according to state records. Yet somehow the man who sent tanks bearing down on Kiev and ordered missile attacks on civilian targets across Ukraine is universally regarded as one of the richest men on earth. No one knows exactly how much the Kremlin chief has in the bank or what assets he owns. But several estimates have valued his vast fortune as high as £200 billion or more, which if true would see him eclipse the man at the top of Forbes' rich list, French luxury goods magnate Bernard Arnault, by tens of billions. Previous attempts to prove which assets are owned by the president have been futile, though the reality differs drastically from the picture painted by official Russian records. Here, Mail Online recounts how the scheming former spy built his extraordinary wealth en route to the Kremlin, examines the methods he uses to successfully conceal it, and takes a look at some of the luxuries he enjoys as a result. Putin's rise to the top. Putin's surge to power and incomprehensible wealth began in the early 1990s in the aftermath of the Soviet Union's collapse. He started his career in politics as an advisor to the mayor of St. Petersburg, before moving to Moscow and taking a job in the Kremlin, where he rose through the ranks under the wing of President Boris Yeltsin, whom he replaced as president in 2000. Russia was mired in economic turmoil after the Soviet Union fell, and the government was in desperate need of money. Putin, who had a prominent position in the infamous KGB State Security Service prior to his move into politics, was involved in arranging the privatization of state-owned assets. Under Yeltsin, Putin, and a host of economic advisors sold off these assets to a small group of businessmen for a fraction of their actual value and subsequently awarded them state contracts, creating a class of Russian oligarchs whose wealth skyrocketed while normal Russian citizens struggled by. Putin and his cronies not only received kickbacks from these sales, but effectively curated a godfather-like arrangement with the oligarchs, riches in exchange for loyalty and ultimately subordination. Russia's oligarchs quickly came to dominate key sectors of the economy, such as oil and gas, mining and telecommunications, with lucrative returns. But they know they owed their fortune to Putin, who has long maintained absolute power in Russia. And as such, Putin is free to take and use what he likes, from whom he likes, and uses them as proxies to conceal his own personal wealth via a complex web of shell companies, offshore banks, and secretive transactions. Putin's luxury assets. Palaces. The Russian president is believed to have access to dozens of private residences across Russia and the world, but two palaces in particular display the man's outrageous wealth. Of course, neither palace is registered to Putin in name. One, a gargantuan multi-billion-pound spa and wellness retreat on the shores of Lake Valdai in the north of Russia, is supposedly owned in part by the Kremlin and partly via a company called Prime belonging to close Putin crony and multi-billionaire Yuri Kovalchuk. Hidden away in the forest beside the crystal-clear water of Valdai, it boasts a 3-story spa complex with a personal beauty parlor for the strongman. According to an investigation conducted by jailed Putin critic Alexei Navalny and his team. 2 floors are hidden underground, complete with a cryo chamber for extreme cold therapy and a mud bath in a 75,350 square feet. Relaxation facility. Also available in the spa are massage baths, a swimming pool surrounded by contrasting hot tubs and cold plunges, as well as saunas, a Turkish bath, and a thigh massage podium. The residence includes several bedrooms and a 500-square-meter living room, Navalny's disclosure claimed, along with a fully equipped dental and cosmetologist office. There are also several other properties, including multiple guest houses, peppered across the mammoth plot of land on which the Valdai Palace sits. Putin's palace, mega yachts, and a gold toilet. Several luxury properties have been linked to the Russian leader, the most famous of which is nicknamed Putin's Palace. The huge property on Russia's Black Sea coast was allegedly built for Vladimir Putin. On Russia's Black Sea coast lies a huge Italianate-style property that is estimated to have cost more than $1 billion to build. The sprawling estate features a greenhouse, a helipad, an ice palace, a church, an amphitheater, a petrol station, and a wine cave, a tunnel dug into a mountain that houses a room just for wine tasting. The home itself is massive, measuring about 17,000 square meters. It includes such flourishes as an indoor pool, a spa, multiple saunas and Turkish baths, a casino, a music lounge, a hookah bar, a theater and movie cinema, and about a dozen guest rooms. A mysterious feature of the palace that has gripped the internet's imagination is known only as the aquatic disco. Several Russian oligarchs have claimed ownership of the palace, but the Kremlin has refused to confirm who holds the deed. Mr. Nemtsov said his nemesis has 15 helicopters at his disposal, 4 yachts, and a passenger jet that features a gold-plated toilet. His lifestyle can be compared to that of a Persian Gulf monarch or a flamboyant oligarch, Mr. Nemtsov's report concluded. The report also alleges that Mr. Putin is a passionate collector of expensive watches, with a collection said to be worth $687,000. He also reportedly dresses exclusively in tailor-made suits and Valentino ties. Mr. Putin has always denied allegations that he lives a luxurious lifestyle. Instead, he claims he has toiled like a galley slave from morning till night, unsparingly during his presidency. Together with a few old friends from St. Petersburg, the president is tapping the big state companies through overpriced no-bid procurement, transfer pricing, asset stripping, and stock manipulation, Anders Aslund, a senior fellow at the Atlantic Council, said in 2018. They are also making money by extorting old oligarchs and taking loans from state banks not to be returned. A massive leak of millions of documents called the Panama Papers in 2015 revealed how the rich and powerful had been exploiting secret offshore tax regimes to stash cash. Vladimir Putin was not named in the Panama Papers, but several of his closest friends were found to have hundreds of millions of dollars in offshore banking networks. Sergei Roldugin is best friends with Vladimir Putin and is godfather to the president's daughter, Reuters, Ivan Sekretarev. Among them was Mr. Putin's childhood best friend, cellist Sergei Roldugin, who was linked to several companies with cash flows of up to $2 billion. Mr. Putin and his oldest friend vigorously denied any wrongdoing. Mr. Roldugin said the money was simply donations to his charity so he could buy instruments for young Russian musicians. "I'm pleased that this landed on me," he said at the time. "There's nothing to catch me out on here. Everything is open. In any case, I am indeed rich. I am rich with the talent of Russia," he added. Bill Browder says the most effective way to sanction Vladimir Putin is for the US, UK, and EU all to target the 50 or so oligarch trustees, who he believes manage and obscure the president's wealth. Their assets could be frozen, and their loved ones who live abroad could have their residency permits rescinded. Russian elites and their family members are now on notice that additional actions could be taken on them as well. Dalip Singh, the White House National Security Advisor, said, "Even as the EU and US moved to freeze Mr. Putin's assets, it was not clear how many he held within the bloc or how badly he would be hurt by such a move. It is a conundrum that plagues global leaders as they seek to punish Russia's leader for his moves on Ukraine. To freeze Vladimir Putin's assets, the West would first have to know what they are and then be able to find them." Forbes magazine, which puts together an annual list of the world's richest people, says Vladimir Putin's worth is impossible to pinpoint. Figuring out Putin's net worth is probably the most elusive riddle in wealth hunting. harder than the heirs, other heads of state, and even drug lords that we financially smoked out over the years, Forbes' wealth team wrote last month. Let us know your opinion in the comment section below. This was all for today. Hope you liked the video. Subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for more interesting videos. Stay safe, and we will be back soon with another video.